I'm going to tell you a quick story about Jack and Jill, social media. Here's Jack. So I'm sure every one of you has met Jack at one time or another in your life, right? The guy's a marketing maniac. Doesn't even think, he just rushes right into it. He starts setting up accounts, no game plan in mind. He's the type of guy that would rather just get involved, do something no matter what it is, beg forgiveness after he's made a mistake. He's constantly self-promoting himself. I mean, on Twitter, 90% or if not more of the tweets that come through are people promoting their services. Thanks for following me, check out my blog. Thanks for following me, here's a great weight loss program. He's absolutely full of BS, so he's not very transparent. He's just telling whatever comes to his mind. That's one thing you really have to keep in mind when talking about social media. If you are pushing stuff out, pushing information out, think about it before you put it out there, because people will find out. And there's a lot of people, stalkers really, that if they see something that doesn't look right, they're gonna work on it because they've got nothing better to do. There's a lot of people out there. Nothing better to do to prove that that's not the case. I was at a recent event in Atlanta, and there was a gentleman talking about Twitter and how during his Twitter, one day he was trying to get a hold of P. Diddy, and P. Diddy wouldn't get a hold of him, but he has 100,000 followers, so he pushed out to all his followers. P. Diddy is not getting back to me. I'd like to talk to him. So then he says, in front of 2,000 people, he says, so about an hour later, P. Diddy's manager calls me and says, call your people off because we're getting so many tweets and so many people bugging us that P. Diddy's going to call you later and settle the whole thing. So please call your people off, right? That was on a Sunday. Sunday night I flew home. Monday morning I got home. The internet was covered because it was all baloney. He made the whole story up, told in front of 2,000 people. They found out because a couple of stalkers were in the audience. They didn't believe what he had to say. They did some search on it. Some hackers got into his account, went through it, saw there's nothing to do with P. Diddy and on his Twitter account. And that guy today actually is out of the business because it was just all over the web. Anytime he typed in his name over the web, basically told him he was a crook and he's full of baloney. So even my profile, like when I'm talking to people, they'll say, what school did you go to? I always say, well, I went to RPI, I had a hockey scholarship down there. And I used to say that really freely, didn't even think about it, right? It's true. But if you search the years that I played hockey at that school, you'd quickly see that I only played about 15 games because I basically drank myself through university for 2 years and went home. So I had to realize that you know what, I can't really do that anymore online because that's so easy to find out that that's not true. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong, it just hit me. I really have to think before I push that information out there.